You're listening to the Classic Gamers Guild podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Classic Gamers Guild podcast. I'm Anna and I'm here with Rick and Paul, and we have decided to come together to talk about the sexier classic games that we have played. And maybe some that we are looking forward to playing.
Sexier or sexiest? Are we aiming for the middle, or?
I think we're going to work our way from like sexy, sexier to sexiest in a really sexy progression of pixelated goodness.
I'm up for that, except for the fact that I don't think I have enough games to really make that progression.
Oh no, did we choose the wrong topic for this episode? Should we move into favorite porn videos?
No comment.
Paul?
Well, my
you don't have to answer that question.
Clear.
Just, yeah. No.
Not to stray too far off the path, so I won't. As I was saying, I honestly. No, I'm on topic. If you let me. I was actually thinking about this because we talked about it. I talked about the idea. I was trying to think, okay, well, that's easy. I played a whole bunch of games that claim to be sexy, claim being kind of the operative word here, because when I thought about it, I was sort of like, man, all the games that are like trying to be sexy, they kind of aren't to me. Like, even if I'm a fan of Leisure Suit Larry, they're never really particularly actually sexy to me.
Mm-hmm. I guess it depends on your definition of what is sexy. Is it a looks thing, like you're looking for it to be sexy, or?
I mean, I don't know.
There's a difference between sexy and erotic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like sexy has some sort of like, sorry, I hadn't said anything for a while. like
days. It's been
I'm parched. Because erotic doesn't, like, I would say Larry games are erotic. But that doesn't mean they're sexy? Are you picking up what I'm putting down there?
Yeah.
All right.
And games can have elements of sexy and not necessarily be like, every Leisure Suit Larry game has elements of sexy. Like, I don't know, like, I don't play it and just like start getting hot over it.
Well,
I like the games, but I don't get any real reaction out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that. Like, I'm not going to the games for that aspect. I'm going to the games because I enjoy and appreciate the sexiness and the humor, but I'm not going for it for the heat per se.
Mm-hmm. I guess they just forget that there's something that should be about the actual game that is pretty hot, right? Like I'd say I'd probably put up there probably at the basic baseline is like the strip poker games, which, granted, they probably came out by the looks of them sometime in the 80s, but I only ever really got access to them in the mid-90s off of BBSs. So it's like, already I'm like this raging hormonal teenager.
Gross.
So CG... Gross? I'm sorry, did you skip over this, Paul? Like, do you not know?
I'm above that period, yes. Always have been.
Badass. Whoa.
Wow, okay, so... I learn something new about you every day, Paul. But... So, when I'm like 16 or something, then I'm totally fine with CGA, something that resembles a woman, and that's fine. And you have to work your way up to it. It's like a slow tease until you finally get the goods. And I don't know, that was pretty decent. I'd probably put that at like the that's the baseline right there for me, I would say.
So that was like your first experience with that sort of idea in a game?
I think I might have watched a friend play Leisure Suit Larry 5 before that.
Okay.
And that didn't really do a whole lot for me. That's probably why I didn't play Leisure Suit Larry until much later. I think I just watched it sort of like, yeah, as much as I liked adventure games, it's kind of like, that seems a little bit weird. It's not that hot, and that's kind of what it's supposed to be, right? Mm-hmm. So I just sort of ignored it for a while, and later on, when I was rediscovering my nostalgia for old adventure games, and went back and played these that I wanted, just decided, hey, that was actually a really good adventure game. Mm-hmm. Especially the first three were just good adventure games that just happened to be on the topic of sex. But I didn't think it was sexy, but they were just good games about a guy trying to get laid.
Well, and you can get different levels, right? Because you can get the partial nudity or more nudity. None of it's like pornographic, really, but you're going to get some tits and stuff. It's in there.
Yeah, I suppose I'm struggling because I'm not sure I've really got any games that would qualify under sexy as we're defining it. And, because Leisure Suit Larry 3 was probably like the raunchiest game that I've played. Like, in a surprising way. I just replayed it recently and was just amazed and awestruck at how many adult scenes there were.
Right.
But if I couldn't include that, because there's not like a sexy vibe. I think you can't get a sexy vibe with Larry from me personally, because of Larry himself. Like, the avatar that you are is just so schleppy and gross. It's like, it's hard to commit to the visuals in this. Yeah.
Detracting from what the girls could have potentially have been if they were paired with somebody that wasn't Larry.
Yeah. Especially weird, disproportionate, cartoonish Larry in the latter ones. Who's fine. It's just like, again, why weren't the women also in the same style? It's fine. I'll let it go.
Wait, that's how you wanted them to be?
Schleppy?
I mean, one or the other. Commit. Having this weird little cartoon man with like normal looking people was super weird.
Yeah, but you wanted the women to be like short with giant heads? Is that what you're into?
Yeah, big long rubbery noses like in the cartoons, The kind of nose you could shut a door on and it would be fine. It would just throb red for a few moments.
Well, the Hooker and Larry one was pretty rough in all three versions. The first one, and the VGA one, and the reloaded one. So, not sexy. But, you get
what? She was so rough, it's almost sexy again. And just a horrible, you shouldn't do this way. So this is wrong factor.
Did either of you play any of the spellcasting series? Spellcasting 101 was pretty sexy. I always thought Harry Potter was a bit of a ripoff on this, because you've got a kid who's going to school to learn magic. He's kind of a nerd, and sexy girls. And that's kind of Harry Potter minus the sexy.
I was going to say, is that what Harry Potter's about? Because I haven't actually seen or read any of them.
Well, he goes to school and he learns to do magic, and he's not necessarily a nerd, but I guess a little bit. Look at the glasses.
Yeah, but
right?
I just never heard the part about where he's like trying to score with all the women in his class.
No, that's the only part that's missing from Harry Potter is the sexy.
Okay.
It's not a sexy series.
Well, 2 out of 3 of us haven't seen it, so.
But the spellcasting games are kind of sexy, you end up, you busted on the girls in the shower, and all of it's still, right? So you've got to use your imagination. It's technically a text game with pictures, right? But it's still sexy.
Right.
Yeah.
And the women are not all like...
Harry Potter was more like it.
Well, I would have been more into Harry Potter if it was more like that. I'm sure there's versions of Harry Potter that are more sexy. Just look, right? In what used to be the porno section in your local video store and now is just Google.
It just dawned on me that Harry Potter is mostly about children, so I don't want to back out of that whole thing.
Good point.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point, because I forgot how long ago that started. I just sort of see them how they are now.
Oh, and we're so old, too. That's funny. Yeah. No, good point.
Again, like I said, I haven't seen any of this. I can't connect anything to actually,
Yeah,
when they're
my
too
hands are
young,
clean
you
for the
shouldn't.
same reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, it was kind of funny because we got our friend Sean McCauley, who was actually joined us on one of these episodes a while back. Mm-hmm. We actually managed to convince him to try playing a little bit of Doki Doki Literature Club. Mm-hmm. And he actually stopped. He did ask us, to be fair, before he stopped. He said, okay, is this going to be really good. Is this something which I'm really going to like? And I couldn't guarantee that.
No.
So he stopped. But the reason he stopped was sort of like he really couldn't handle the fact that he was supposed to be attracted to these teenage, high school age girls.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's I can't do that. This is not cool. And we're like, okay, I respect that. And I never thought about that before. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no doubt. Now I feel creepy for playing it and enjoying it. Actually, for so many reasons, that's wrong.
Yeah, that's the fact that you made it that far before it got ruined for you is kind of also a little bit weird there, Anna.
Yeah, ew.
Because I was going to say, like, they kind of ripped that away from you, like, pretty quick.
They did. I liked it. You know what? That was one of the first newer games that I'd completed in a really long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Well, there goes one of the 4 games I was going to talk about.
Still can, but I mean, if you want, just...
Have you played it, Paul?
Oh, yeah, he totally has. I forced him to.
Oh, right. He forced you to. Yeah, I was like, I've encouraged people to play that, and then maybe I've said maybe it's the wrong game for certain people to play, so only some people can play it.
Yeah, I agree with that. They have all the trigger warnings at the front.
Cryptically.
I do still think it's a great game, just...
Yeah, they're Nah. I'll work on justifying it all later. Anyway, Spellcasting 101, right? I've never played it. I did play the other Goddesses of Phobos.
Oh, yeah, the first one?
The first one, yeah, the text one.
Yeah.
And that's got like I would say that's a kind of a sexy game, right? Because it's like, it's just like a vibe, just something in the air about it.
Yeah, and the way it phrases things. It's like clearly being just that little bit sexy. And then the second one, too, they went with the graphics and they went all out into full color. And they're like, oh, we're going to make this ultra sexy.
Mm-hmm. A couple of games which I never really got the chance to play when I was in high school when they came out. But they had quite a stir about them. Or like, they had some buzz, I should say. A buzz about them because they were supposed to be so risque and hot and sexy and all that. But I didn't get a chance to play it till probably more like late 90s or probably even early 2000s. But these 2 games, one was Cobra Mission and one was Metal and Lace. Cobra Mission being a little bit more kind of, if I recall correctly, I didn't play very far into it, but I think it was kind of the closest I could really describe it as like a JRPG. If not, I could actually be right on the mark about that, but I'm just sort of second guessing myself. And Metal and Lace was a fighting game. And the whole thing was that they were really advertised as being like, oh yeah, these are really hot games. These are really sexy as you don't, risque, controversial, blah, blah, blah. And I played it and was sort of like, oh man, they just, no, it's not that. Like they try kind of, but they don't commit. And it's sort of like, okay, so wow, you didn't deliver. I think Cobra Mission does eventually, but I kind of got bored before I got there. And I actually did a little bit of research because I wanted to make sure to see. I did a little bit of Google search before the show to see if they actually did kind of commit and show a little bit of skin, and they do, but it really does look like the quality of art is on par with what you would doodle in high school in math class because you're bored. Like, it was not good art. Like, it was just kind of like half-assed.
And it didn't deliver.
Yeah. I mean, Metal and Lace I don't think delivered pretty much at all, and Cobra Mission tried to deliver, but it really wasn't worth it.
Yeah, that's probably the worst. It's like, if you're gonna do it, just do it. Commit to it. I never got when they would show like 1 or 2 scenes. Like, you already broke the R rating. Just we're all here for that. Yeah, I think that's why I appreciated Leisure Suit Larry 3 because
they delivered on they gave you the rack you were looking for.
Yeah. They're pretty relentless too. You didn't have to wait long between them. Like, all right, we all know why we're here. This isn't King's Quest or whatever. Let me enjoy this shamefully in private.
We all know why you're playing King's Quest 4.
I mean, and then you've got a game like Les Manly, and you want it to be a sexy game, and actually it turns out to be
so
distressingly unsexy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Distress.
It's like I'm trying to get something out of this, and I'm just not getting it.
That game, it's too bad too, because I actually had some really good screens. Like the art and graphics on some of the screens were actually really good.
They were, yeah.
And the ideas were good too. I think some of it was really cool. In when someone explains it to you, it sounds really fun.
Sure. I wish that person explained it to me.
All I ever hear is it's like Leisure Suit Larry, but it sucks, you know?
It wants to be like Leisure Suit Larry, but it's not like Leisure Suit Larry, and it sucks.
Right. Yeah.
It's like triple threat of dumb.
That's what bloody Accolade does, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They did it with I barely got the things I'm trying to say. They did it with that's the not Space Quest game, Altered Destiny.
Yeah, Altered Destiny.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Got there. You know, I'm noticing a theme with the sexy games. It's starting to sound a bit like the equivalent to video game movies, where like it's just mostly garbage. but
basically,
but people relentlessly keep trying to pull it off. You know, and I think Larry. You can't argue its success, so there's one. I don't know if there's others, but yeah, because the two that I've got listed to specifically mention, I haven't played either of them all the way through. I started both of them, but it's Emmanuel and Fascination. You guys are familiar with Fascination, I think, right?
I'm not familiar with either of them, but I know that you've mentioned them before, so I remember them by name. Yeah,
Fascination's what, and kind of like you were saying with the last one, it's with the description of Les Manly, like Fascination just, it should be good. It sounds good. It's like a espionage thing with like this kind of, you know, stereotypical French sexiness about it, I guess you'd say.
Beautiful graphics, and you've got a little bit of nudity, and it should be a good game.
Right, yeah. It's just, if you glance over it, like it seems like a good time, and I like the idea of something from that era, especially art-wise, that would be kind of like Larry in that risque sense or mature sense, but maybe not try and be jokey, you know, like a serious spy thriller or whatever. But the game is just the worst, unfortunately.
They actually are bad? Like legit bad?
Yeah, Fascination's problem is just the puzzles. It's kind of has the same fate as Discworld. Just known, I guess, infamously for having just the moonlodgiest.
Oh, that's because they're cocktail. It's a cocktail game. I was just saying in the Classic Gamers Guild that I've never been able to complete a cocktail game in my life. They did the Goblins 1, 2, and 3. They did Inca and Inca 2. The Bizarre Adventures of Woodruff and Schnibble. I've never completed Ween. Yeah, I've never completed a single one of their games. I don't get it.
I finished the demo disc of Goblins 3 that came on a magazine cover.
Good for you. Those games are not easy.
No.
It took a little bit, but they were, I mean, it was fun.
They're gorgeous too.
Yeah.
Beautiful games.
I've always wanted to track them down and play them.
Yeah. Inca's beautiful. Inca 2, Urban Runner, all of them are gorgeous games, but damn. Moon Logic. Oh, Lost in Time. See? It's just like that.
Yeah, they did a lot. And they were French. So that explains why Fascination had a French vibe about it then.
That sexy French vibe.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't stereotypical. I guess that's not how that works since they made it. But yeah, what about Emmanuel? Maybe if you guys want to pull that up,
by the same company. Oh, it's another cocktail game.
It is?
It is.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it certainly is.
They're not having a great track record then, for me.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I see. You do get the full nudity, but even crap. It's kind of like, oh, those graphics are pretty bad.
Yeah, the graphics are weird, right? There is
the
a
text
EGA.
is weird.
Sorry.
What's wrong with those
Yeah,
colors?
text
Why is
very
everybody yellow?
blocky. There is a
What is
VGA
happening?
version
Oh,
where they're less yellow, but still
right.
yellow.
Ooh. I don't know, man.
This one actually, the story starts out kind of well in a trashy B way. I mean, as you'd expect, let's just say.
Yeah.
Whereas Fascination did seem like there was maybe a good story deep down inside. It was just ridiculous. Whereas this one just comes across as, you know, kind of Larry-ish, but not trying to be funny. So it leaves you in this weird zone of like, you don't think this is good, writing, do you? Because this is ridiculous. But also, I mentioned this briefly. It came out 1989, and it didn't have mouse support, and it was
that hurts.
Yeah, it was just a little too late. And the weird thing was that they still chose to design the game with a point and click interface, so you had to use the bloody arrows to float
like
the cursor.
Manhunter. Yeah.
It's real bad. Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about the art in this game. It's like almost good.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
the closer you look, the worse it gets.
The Fascination looks a lot better.
Yeah, that one's prettier, for sure.
Yeah.
Is it pronounced cocktail? Am I screwing this up? Are people going to write in and say I'm an idiot? Is it like cocktail? Is that British? Do you guys know?
I always called it cocktail.
Okay,
it's
cocktail.
definitely French. You guys should know French stuff.
Cocktail.
Well, I guess.
Cocktail.
Another game that tried to really sell itself on sexiness. You'll probably all remember this. A while back, they had the Dead or Alive Extreme series.
Oh, the beach volleyball.
The beach
and all
volleyball,
that. Yeah.
and then the other one I think was less specific. It was just a bunch of beach sports.
Jiggle physics and all that.
Yeah, but not good. Like I checked out the trailer, and they didn't know how physics works.
Oh no, it's wrong. That's unsettling.
Yeah, did you watch? Have you seen it? Like it was pretty. It was kind of viral at the time for how bizarre it was. Because it's like, how does anyone think that that's how they move?
Exactly.
And I gotta say, like, graphically it was impressive, but I just like, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do this. That's, I've also mentioned a few times before Dragon's Crown, where it's just sort of like, they're so over exaggeratedly trying to be sexy that it really kind of is hard to look at. So, Dragon's Crown and Extreme, I think Extreme 2 or whatever it was called, the Dead or Alive, the second Dead or Alive Extreme game, it was just sort of like, it's like, it's kind of hard to look at just because it almost feels insulting. So that's another couple to scratch off the list of like games that tried to be sexy and just really failed at it to me.
Like unsettling, what about like, and we've mentioned it before in Willie Beamish and the Nurse's Tits. It's like, is this a sexy game? Is Willie Beamish meant to be a sexy game? Who is the demographic here?
Yeah, I really thought about that earlier though, genuinely, and it was just like that's a weird thing to even have on the table at all as a conversation. But it's not my fault, and clearly Anna's too, that the game has like a weird sexual energy going on. There's like the boss riding her boyfriend. There's some weird stuff in that game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have said that if Anna didn't go first.
No,
was that marketed to people who knew what sex was?
Well,
like, was there...
It was meant to be a naughty game. Like, it was marketed to be naughty. Because, I mean, like, you got a frog named Horny. Like, right off the bat, it's trying to indicate on the box that this might not be for the average little kid. But at the same time, that's, like, who's going for games like that.
Yeah, and just, the fact that they need to dress it up by, like, was there a sudden rash of, like, 8 and 9-year-olds riding on each other's backs?
I know. And, like, they gave out a watch. Like, what 27-year-old executive that they're marketing it towards wants, like, a Willie Beamish watch?
No, well, I that's such a great point. I had actually read somewhere, I wish I had the source, because I've only heard it this one time, but somewhere along the lines, it was something along the lines of, there was a literal, like, confusion with the marketing of the game,
Yeah.
And so like a certain department, like it was supposed to be marketed towards adults. Like, what if you could do it over again, do 12 years old over again, but with the mind of an adult, because you, the player, have the mind of an adult. So,
whoa, that's not.
that's a little weird when you put it. They didn't put it that way.
Okay.
Well, they
Okay.
kind
You know
of
what I
did
mean, like-
put it that way a little bit.
A little bit
the
too.
back
Yeah,
of the
this is
box.
very confusing.
12 is like the worst year to go back to if you have the mind of an adult.
I think it was a little younger than that, though. I think you were like, go back to being like 9 or 10.
I don't know. Like I've admitted several times, I just really haven't played it. I've seen a couple of screenshots, but yeah, it does have that Bart Simpson feel to it, doesn't it? It's got that kind of. I would really be hard pressed to think of him as a teenager.
Because he's younger now, it makes it less. It doesn't sound sexy, but they're like, just how much trouble do you think you could get yourself into if you could be 9 years old again, knowing what you know now? And 9 is not like a sexy age. Like when I think about, yeah.
Does the actual box say that?
No. I'm saying that. I'm just like, when I think
It
back
does
to
say the
being
prior
9.
part.
Yeah, the prior part it does. Yeah. I was reading that off the box. But yeah, it's not sexy. I don't think of 9-year-olds as sexy. I don't think of anything about. So I think, yeah, that it's like a kid's game, but that adults would get a kick out of it too. Like I think they were trying to do multi-layered like Disney does.
Right.
Yeah, they're swinging it. Anna, you remember the sister in the bathtub scene?
Yeah, exactly. It's and
that's downright erotic. It is. It's lovely.
It's great. He's just like, I'm just coming in here. I'm just grabbing a thing. We're fine. It's good. Like.
It's super. The whole thing's so weird, and then she chases you out eventually, and she's got like suds covering just the price. It's just a weird energy in that game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's the whole family can play it together is what they're trying to say, guys. So I guess once again, what is a sexy game then? Is a text game a sexy game? If do you need to see boobies and do they need to be realistic? Is a game sexier because it's more realistic?
That's a question you need to ask yourself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I got to answer it too? Jesus, guys.
The interview technique.
Can you read text off a screen and be like, ooh, yeah.
Well, no, I it's the same thing. I play them and I'm looking for them to be sexy, but I'm not going to them for that type of mentality, I guess. And if they did that for me, I would go there more for that. And maybe I'm just not playing the right game for it, but I've played all the Leisure Suit Larry games and I love them for their sexiness. I like this. I like the sexier. I would be more likely to play a game that's a text game because it's sexy. So those games can all be sexy without being like the place that I go to for sex.
So I guess as we've established, it's basically our definition is a game that you play to get turned on. I guess what we haven't really decided is would it have to be a game that you play with the intent of being turned on? Or is it just a game that you play and, oh, by the way, this is kind of turning me on?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good question.
Either. Like, or neither, really. I mean, I play a game because I like it and because it's funny. And if it's sexy, it makes me want to seek it out more. But not to play it just specifically for any other reason than, I don't know, I like that aspect in games. I guess that sounds so lame, right? But it's true.
Like what would be? I guess we're going to have to start getting into like our picks for a sexy game, like best sexy game. I guess the metric for that is games that actually kind of turn you on, like actively, kind of.
Okay.
So I don't know. Does anyone have any?
Y'all can go first.
I mean, not Doki Doki Literature Club.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, unless you want to get arrested right after this airs. Yeah.
I find there's two ways to break it down. I think that a couple of games which I find, I don't know if I'd say turned on, but a couple of games which I find inadvertently hot are the Saints Row series and actually WWE, because I get to like play scantily clad women while also playing a really fun game.
Mm-hmm.
Got to admit, hey, I'm a lifelong wrestling fan, and when you can create women to look how you like and wear what you want, and they're doing really athletic things, it's a bit of a turn on for me, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Saints Row, except a little bit more badass. We can throw in some more murder, and there you go. But
that plus murder equals Saints Row.
Yes. But I guess some people might not quite consider that old enough to be classic yet. So yeah, well, I guess my official pick in terms of like going really back, like let's say 90s, I'd probably say maybe Gals Panic, just because they were really nice pictures and it was a pretty fun game to actually just play. It was just like that happened to be the reward and it was pretty rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't know, Gals Panic is pretty much kicks, but when you reveal the background, it reveals pictures of women. So you basically try to uncover as much of the women as you can, and as the levels go on and harder, then they get less and less clothed. And yeah, like I said, it was a fun game that I probably would have played even without the eroticism, but it's a really nice reward. Sorry, what was funny?
I'm sorry. No, there's a cat fight happening in front of me. I'm sorry.
A cat fight, really?
Yeah, I was laughing because you were laughing. I was, yeah.
It's rather cartoonish. It's like a little dust tornado and fur.
Oh, that kind of like a literal cat fight.
Mm.
Yeah.
Funny, you'd be having distractions by pussy during this episode.
You don't have to bleep that one.
I thought you were talking about like a cat fight, like,
Oh, yeah. Well, as you would because of the topic at hand right now.
Yeah,
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, my cats are trying to harm one another.
That's less funny, but
do you need a minute? I can go next if you need a minute. Here, I'll let you think. I'm going to go for, okay, so on the vein of the direction Rick was going, I would say if it's a game that's got to actually do something, a little like, okay, Dragon's Age Origins is the first game I've played where you really develop a relationship and then, you have to work to get some in the game, and it's sexy and it's pretty. I mean, I don't think it's considered old. What is it? 2012 or something. But man, that's a pretty hot game, and it's got some great relationship stuff. And if we go into the classics, it's probably Paul's pick, but it's also mine. It's Leisure Suit Larry 3 for the reason that it gives you the nudity right at the beginning of the game. It gives you the nudity from underneath in the shower. You get naked Larry, you get naked chicks. It's pretty satisfying, like all the way through.
Yeah, there's a lot of Larry dick in that game. I was shocked.
Yeah, and I'm a girl, so I'm just like, oh, both, because that's unusual.
And I'm a guy, so I'm like that. A straight guy, I'm like, that's fine.
It's there.
Okay. Yeah, now I know. Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned Dragon Age too, because it just reminded me. Of course, Mass Effect was a really good one.
That another sex one, yeah. You can like form relationships and stuff for sure.
Or if you want just straight up, like just total, like in terms of just nudity, then God of War was also really good.
Mm. What about Grand Theft Auto? There's stuff going on there too, like the later ones.
I said Saints Row.
Mm-hmm.
I've made my choice. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I guess I just never play enough of the story of any of them.
Mm-hmm.
To really answer, yeah.
Of any game ever?
That's a great finisher for the episode, Paul. Let's finish on that note. You were left unsatisfied.
All right, so then what would be your pick then, Paul?
All right. I was childishly wondering if maybe it'd just stay under the radar. On
the guy game, the Playboy Mansion, BMX Triple X.
Oh, that's right. The Playboy Mansion game that was on the weird, ridiculous games episode because it's the least sexy game in the world. It's all about like counting and making and scheduling appointments. It's just the weirdest thing. I'm really struggling with this. Larry 3 would be, I guess, kind of my cop-out answer, but I'll try. Phantasmagoria 2. I'll go with that one. That's
right.
There's like just a little nudity, but there's also like this weird BDSM. Like he's basically got like a good girl and a bad girl kind of thing going on in the game, relationship wise. So like it's kind of both worlds, and it's I
really need to play that.
It's a really good game.
Jeez.
So I was kind of invested as it was like character wise, but yeah,
interesting.
I'm really struggling to, because I think for me a lot of back to the definition thing, like I have a hard time finding a game that I found like just had like an overall kind of like sexy vibe about it, except for maybe Doki Doki, damn it. But but that being said, like sexy games to me were like kind of Phobos or Larry or things where it's more about like seeing what you can get away with doing than the actual.
Exactly. What can I rub on what?
Right. Yeah. How far will they let you go? Command wise, especially in Phobos, just trying to.
Can I use all the swears that I wasn't allowed to use in King's Quest?
Yeah.
When Al Lowe did the Leisure Suit Larry games, he had a bunch of beta testers write down any lines that needed a response, so he would be able to program a response and for anything that they would possibly type in. So he'd be prepared for like just about any eventuality of something you might type to the game, so that it wouldn't be like, I don't know what you're saying. It'd like have something catty and awesome to send back to you.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, that's so much commitment.
Some of you who saw the title Sexy Games might be noticing the conspicuous absence of a lot of visual novels because we don't play them. And I know some of our, people who I assume might have a chance of listening to this episode. There's some pretty big followings and strong devotees of visual novels, and I got nothing against them. They're just not really the kind of game that I tend to play. But there's some great ones out there. I'm pretty sure. I can only just assume. But if we don't mention any of those, it's because I literally played almost none of them.
What's an example of one, even?
Yeah.
Well, technically Doki Doki Literature Club counts.
Oh, Hateful Boyfriend? Or no, the dating, pigeon dating game.
Hateful Boyfriend, yeah.
Okay. Hateful Boyfriend.
Our resident Asian clarifies that for us.
Dating sim.
The resident Asian. There are literally white people who are more Asian than I am.
But they still say hateful wrong. All right, I don't know if you guys have any like FMV ones or whatever, but Voyeur, I've never played it, but I feel like should mention it because it's like it is what it sounds like. I believe I looked into it a little bit, and you just you just see lewd things.
Oh, but you haven't actually played it.
No. Yeah. No.
Oh, 1993. Right. So it's definitely classic. It's got that newscaster, and then you're supposed to look at people kissing and doing stuff in their houses with like a telescope, and this guy's beating on his wife or something. Oh my God, this is wild.
Okay, so we all know that Paul's favorite erotic game is Night Trap.
You're not wrong.
We're just going to end it on that conclusion.
Yeah, I was just building towards that, so you saved everyone a lot of time.
Sorry, did I spoil?
No, not. I was just wondering if you guys had any FMV ones. I don't. I guess was Night Trap sexy? I was really young.
It was accused of being so, and I absolutely do not.
Been accused of it.
It might have tried. But yeah, I know sexiness is a subjective concept, but the answer is no.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well,
That's a
Tex
safe
Murphy's
answer.
like Under a Killing Moon was kind of sexy. Like it was sexy and sassy, but it wasn't meant to be pornographic. There was just elements of that side of things.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right.
It must be
Martian
easier for an
Memorandum,
FMV.
Yeah. Yeah, with like real people and...
Yeah. Doesn't take much to be clearly,
You guys need to play
I mean, that being
Tex
said,
Murphy
Phantasmagoria 2, they were going for it, that was...
game. I really got to play that one.
They were, I mean, I really like the character you play, so you're really cheering him on, and you're like, look at him go. He's really getting it, That's great. You're so proud of him.
All right. Paul, can you please put this episode out of its misery?
Yep. All right. Oh, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Fuck Quest, because that's all it ever wanted to be, was mentioned on a show that talked about old crappy games.
Finally, it can be laid to rest. It has been mentioned. But
It
those
is finally
graphics, though.
accomplished. Yeah.
Jeez.
All right, everyone, that's bloody it. Thank you very much for listening. Check us out on Facebook. We're a page, we're a group. Come say hello. We're on Instagram at CGG Podcast. We're on Twitter. Do us a tweet at the CG Guild. Send us an email, mail@classicgamersguild.com. Special thank you to all of our Patreons. We really appreciate you guys sincerely. And a very special thank you to those in said tier, to Jay Holmes and Mark Fillion. Thank you very much, mates. We appreciate you guys. Check out Mark's game, Chinatown Detective Agency on Steam. Bloody wishlist, that thing. And, yep. Don't do murder.